you going back to the city?
Probably not. I'll probably stick with
Yes,
here.
Sure, come on. Get to it. No, I want to take it back and need to. No, they're rolling on it, so yeah, that's fine.
Just come from the salon.
Demi, have you got a mic check or we're good?
We good?
All right, good afternoon, everybody. We appreciate you coming out. Want to kind of give an update on where we are on the upcoming weather. First of all, I'd like to introduce everybody on our panel here today. We have Captain Stephen Anderson from Huntsville Police Department, John Autry from Parking and Transit, Chris McNeese from the Director of Public Works, and Scott Irwin from Community Development. So the first thing that I wanted to do was kind of give you an update of, at least from an EMA perspective, what we have been trying to do with the impending weather. First of all, we started this weekend trying to send out blasts on our social media, Facebook, internet, because as you well know, preparedness by the public is going to be key during this, and we want to make sure, now's the time. You can visit our website. There's a ton of information related to what you need to be prepared for. Make sure you got gas in your car. You got food that lasts 3 days, things of that nature. And these are things that we have learned throughout the years in order to be successful during these events. So we started this weekend sending out blasts. Again, now is the time. So, if you need medications that need to be refilled, things of that nature, you need to do that now. So we will continue to do that. We're really kind of in a wait and see stage at this point. Over the next few days, we will be monitoring the weather very closely and giving those reports to our folks up here, but also out in the county, so that they can know exactly what's going on, what's coming, and they can be better prepared for that. So preparedness is our message right now, and we will adjust accordingly. At this point, I'll turn it over to Captain Anderson from Huntsville Police Department.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Stephen Anderson, Captain with the Huntsville Police Department. Just wanted to speak a little bit about roadway safety in any sort of adverse weather conditions. It's first of all important for everyone to be aware of the current roadway situations whenever you go out onto the roadway. We're not going to be able to push out to everybody the roadway conditions wherever you may be, but we'll be doing our best to monitor road conditions as they develop. In the event of any winter weather, of course, we might expect roadway conditions to be adverse in your higher elevations, your elevated roadways, those kinds of things. And we'll be having our officers constantly out checking the roadway conditions and be doing our best to put out the roadway conditions via all media outlets and social media and things like that. We'll also be out with Public Works Division, helping them treat the roadways, be sure that they're safe while they're doing that. And we'll be doing our best to monitor the roadway conditions and communicating with them whenever we notice any dangerous conditions to get them out there to treat the roadways as those conditions occur. And the last thing is we'll also be putting out we'll be pre-staging some barricades in our normal locations where we normally see ice build up on the roadways in the event that we need to close those roadways down. And we would like to remind everybody, if you see barricades up on the roadway, there's a reason that they're there. It means that the roadways are in a dangerous condition for people to drive on, and please don't drive around those barricades. It happens every time, but we want you to not do that for your own safety and for the safety of others. Please be aware of that and don't drive around the barricades if you see them up in the roadway. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Public Works.
Thank you, Captain. My name is Chris McNeese. I'm the Director of Public Works, and Captain Anderson kind of stole a little bit of my thunder, some of my talking points about staging barricades and working closely with them. The big thing that we're going to be ready, we're going to have people staged throughout the city ready to respond if we have accumulation on the roads. Obviously, we're going to have plows in designated locations. The primary goal for us, if we have accumulations, we'll have our plows to remove any accumulation off the road. We're going to be treating bridges that are within the city Huntsville right-of-ways. AlDOT takes care of their own infrastructure within their right-of-ways. We're going to treat ours. We have a rock that we put down for all of our bridges. It's the A10 modified, and we wait and work closely with HPD in treating any localized black ice areas, or, like I said, if there's accumulation on the road, we'll be treating those as well, working closely with HPD. But other than that, we'll be communicating with other agencies as needed. We'll have staffing, like I said, throughout the city, and we'll be ready to respond as needed. Other than that, I'll pass this over to Scott Irwin.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Scott Irwin with Community Development with the city. So as we all know, the temperatures this time of year can be life-threatening to some. So we urge our neighbors and partners, friends and family, check on those loved ones that may be isolated, that may be homebound. Make sure you reach out to individuals and make sure they have the important necessities that they may need if they're unable to get out. In addition, we have our unsheltered population at this time, which we actually opened up warming shelters with our partner organizations, our local continuum of care, a coalition of local nonprofits whose sole mission is to help provide resources and services to the unsheltered. So we have 4 warming centers inside the city limits of Huntsville this year. The community warming center will be at the Living Room, LIVIN room. It's at 2820 Governor's Drive. It will be open basically all week, and we'll continue to monitor it and open it as needed. First Stop is one of our local day shelters, but they will be open throughout the day and making sure anyone can come in out of the cold temperatures and get any resources they may need. Of course, the Downtown Rescue Mission, the largest congregate shelter in the city, they are opening their doors to make sure anyone who needs warmth and shelter has an opportunity to go there, and then the Salvation Army. So those are our 4. And we will also say if churches or different community organizations would like to open their doors, please contact Community Development, and we'll help organize that, make sure the word is out. And again, we work stronger together, so make sure you actually contact the Community Development Department if you have any questions about how you can assist the unsheltered at this time. So I will turn it over to Jeff.
Good afternoon. I'm John Autry with Huntsville Transit. Wanted to make sure the public knows Tuesday through Saturday, Huntsville Transit Orbit buses will be providing free rides to the 4 warming centers. So all an individual who's at a bus stop out on the street, just let the bus operator know that you're going to a warming center and the ride is free. Staff will also be available through the rest of the week for any evacuations that may be necessary as the weather conditions dictate.
So at this point, I guess we'll open it up for questions.
For those who are like living in isolated areas, rural areas, what kind of safety precautions are in place for those people who may either be stuck or may be without electricity or may not have transportation?
Yeah, so for those people, obviously, if something occurs, the best effort will be made to take care of whatever. But again, I want to focus on the preparedness. What we recommend is being prepared to be on your own for 72 hours, which in this case, with the weather coming in, should be more than adequate. But again, it's part of an individual responsibility as well, and I say start preparing now. Now's the time. Again, you can visit our website. There is a ton of information, checklist, things of that nature that you need to think about in preparing yourself for an event such as this.
Captain Anderson, I had a question for you. When we talk about preparedness for officers, last year it was a little bit difficult with the roads, responding to calls. Is that going to look different this year, depending on the severity of these storms? How are your officers preparing for responding to calls in this type of weather?
Well, we always put an emphasis on our officers being prepared to respond in any sort of conditions. Of course, they're well equipped by the police department to be able to do their job in any sorts of weather conditions. The police vehicles that we utilize now are very, very well built to be able to operate in adverse weather conditions, especially snowy kind of conditions. They're all-wheel drive vehicles, so they're safe to be responding to various locations. So we do everything that we can to be prepared in advance. We've been checking all of our equipment and making sure that everything's ready to go. We've already been doing that up to this point, so that we'll be well prepared to respond to any emergency situations.
Is there something different this year that maybe you guys didn't do last year as far as preparedness and taking precautions?
No, we always develop a winter weather preparedness plan. That's been done a couple months ago now by our police department. So we already have a plan to address contingencies as they arise.
Gotcha.
Just on a broad scope as far as preparedness in general, learning from last year, is there any new equipment that the city has or anything that we've learned in the past year that we're planning on implementing with the weather coming?
Yeah, overall, I'll say the plans that we've used in the past are still there. They're tried and true through experience, education, things of that nature. Now, every event is different. There's always one little thing that may be different from the time before, but I think everybody here in Madison County has done a really good job of knowing what their role is based on things that have happened in the past, and for the most part, they work. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's not an event out there that just nobody is thinking of, which there probably is one day. But I think the processes that we have in place and the plans we have in place, and let me say the teamwork that everybody displays, I think we're probably about as prepared as we can be.
What are you guys doing to stay safe yourselves? I mean, you guys are human beings, you're not robots. You guys are human just like us. Get stuck just like us. What assistance is available for y'all who are helping us?
Well, and good question. Of course, I can't answer for the others, but I will say one of the features of our new facility here that we didn't have before is we have the ability to stay here, and there's bunks here and things of that nature, which is huge for us because once we get here, we're not in a hurry trying to get home. We can sustain ourselves here at least for a little while. So, that's a big plus for us. I don't know if anybody else here.
I know you guys too were also talking about providing buses to shelters for folks here in the area, but again, I have to still think about those folks that may be kind of out rural a little bit. What services are available to bring those people here, like the elderly who may be living out, not necessarily in the centralized city or area?
Well, and
Yeah, sure, okay. So Huntsville Transit is part of the Madison County Emergency Management Committee, and so we have someone in constant communication. We have a service that goes door to door, so we can perform an evacuation in any part of the city of Huntsville, as far as Limestone County, and so we're prepared. Staff knows that we've had to respond to emergencies like this before. We certainly wouldn't have the resources for, hundreds of thousands, but the, one-offs and emergencies that come up in an event, potential event like this, we're ready and we've responded in the past.
If somebody does everything right, as you guys said, being prepared, having enough food, doing all the things you guys need to do, but of course there's power outages that could occur or pipes bursting that could occur. What do you guys do for those folks who, again, may have done everything right, but still don't have the means to possibly, get out of it or have a place to go?
Well, and I think the key there is there's still processes in place for evacuation. You've got law enforcement, not only in the city of Huntsville, but you've got sheriff's office, you've got city of Madison police that are there to take care of their own people in their own communities. And that's what we prepare for. So, yes, you may have somebody that does everything right, and obviously something goes wrong, and you just have to deal with those situations on, one-on-one basis.
One more question, Jim.
Can you talk more about the plans? Sorry.
So I just wanted to reemphasize we are here to help the community prepare, but we're also putting it back on the individual citizens. This is your time to make your individual plans. If you need to contact a friend or a family member so they can check in on you, so you can have a buddy system and alert between each other. So again, we're here to remind the community that this event is coming, and for each individual person to do the best they can to set up a system in place where they can be safe and secure during this weather.
Can you talk more about the plans in place for you guys if the roads ice over or snow builds up on the roads later this week? Can you talk more about the plans you guys have in place if the roads were to ice over or if snow builds up on the roads?
That's a very good question. A previous question that was brought up about having any additional equipment, we did this year. We retrofitted 10 of our existing crew cab trucks with plows and bed-mounted spreaders. So we have a total of 15 vehicles that's going to be distributed throughout the city of Huntsville, ready to respond, like I said, working with other first responders to treat the roads as needed. Again, we rock the bridges, we solve the areas that are needed, the elevated areas, and it depends on the event. Sometimes the event happens and it's worse on the north side of town. Sometimes the event is worse in the elevated portions of town. So it just depends on the event is really how we're going to call an audible at the moment and react to that particular event. So we do have the equipment. The city of Huntsville is truly blessed to have the staffing, the employees ready to respond and do all they can to help us through any event that happens, snow and ice event that happens here, not just with Public Works, but the other departments. As you see, you have a wonderful employee base to assist with clearing our infrastructure.
I
All right,
have one more really quick one. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
I know the EMA has been monitoring the conditions, things like that. What are you guys expecting from what you're seeing? I know you guys aren't weathermen and you don't bring us the forecast, but what are y'all preparing for right now? Or what are y'all seeing that could come in the near future?
Well, rather than offer a prediction, I'll tell you what, at least what's been put to us. I think you're looking at really, really cold weather. Wind chills in the some down to 10 degrees over the next few days. The key right now, I think, that may be the problem is Friday. You're looking at several days of really cold weather. The ground is already going to be somewhat cool, so they're looking at precipitation that's coming in on Friday. That's, at least right now, that's our focus. Now, the positive thing about that is, you look at last January where you had really cold temperatures, but the kicker there was it didn't get over freezing for several days. I don't think that's going to be the case. You're looking at Friday and Saturday, 37, 38 degrees. So any precipitation that you do have that sticks will possibly have the opportunity to thaw out. At this point, we're going to conclude that. Thanks for everybody coming.
Thank you.
Now, if you're going to stay here, where be here?
I have some, but
Y'all good? Everybody good?
yeah, and we wanted to or I guess I yeah, that's fine. I can stop. I'm good.
Yes. Because that's what, and they kept icing, and you know, the move.
So essentially,
Literally, I'm